evening and welcome to this edition of News Leader on 6. Today is Tuesday, March 10th, 2020. I'm Jim Puller.
And I'm Andrew Todd. In tonight's news, the Tullahoma City Board recently voted to purchase 2 properties on Southwest Atlantic Street. We'll bring you video of the winner of the Tullahoma Chamber of Commerce's Small Business of the Year Award. And we'll have more from the Tullahoma Sports Council's Hall of Fame Awards presentations. We'll have all these stories and more on tonight's News Leader on 6.
The Russell Barnett Automotive family has launched its new Owner Advantage program. It starts as simple as your first year's maintenance is included with the purchase. We have 1-year, 3-year, 5-year plans available. Car detailing, car rental, collision repair. Stop by one of our 5 locations and let one of our certified sales staff tell you all about it. The Russell Barnett Automotive Family Advantage program. And remember, my question is, why buy anywhere else?
My wife Jackie has always been the life of the party, but things changed when she couldn't be as active anymore.
They told me I needed a double knee replacement.
It's not as big a deal as it used to be, but she still needed to go to rehab.
I was amazed at how good the therapists were at Life Care. They took really good care of me.
They took excellent care of her, and now she's back doing the things she loves, and that makes everyone happy.
Life Care Center of Tullahoma wants you to get active and live well.
Is this the year you want to get fit? If so, check out just some of the things Tullahoma Parks and Rec has to offer. Kickboxing, aerobics, silver sneakers workouts, swim lessons, boot camp, water aerobics, basketball, Zumba, yoga, pickleball, lap swimming, treadmill, karate. Get fit, Tullahoma, and have some fun with Tullahoma Parks and Rec.
Welcome back. Tullahoma City Administrator Jennifer Moody is encouraging residents to respond to the U.S. Census forms they will be soon receiving in the mail.
I would say as much as possible when you get that census and the survey in the mail, fill it out so that nobody has to come knock on your door and multiple times ask you to fill it out, because that will happen. And then the other thing I always like to share about the census is just to remind people that being counted is not about asking you to pay more taxes. It's about the city of Tullahoma getting the fair share of taxes that you already pay. So all of our citizens are paying state taxes, state sales taxes, federal taxes that are allocated back to communities based on their population. And for each person in Tullahoma that is not counted, we lose out on $1,091 a year. So it's really important. We don't want to count you so that you have to pay more. We just want to make sure that we get that fair share that we already pay.
Tullahoma City Attorney Steve Worsham briefed the City Board recently on the possible purchase of a piece of downtown real estate.
On your agenda tonight is a resolution to approve the purchase of real property in downtown Tullahoma. When I discovered that it was for sale, I talked to Ms. Moody about that, and she immediately jumped into the program, and we were able to negotiate, mostly with her, but with my help, I hope, the purchase of that property. That's going to be very important to us in providing some more downtown parking in Tullahoma. It had been privately owned. It was used as a private parking lot for a business, and in conjunction with the purchase of the parking lot that we acquired, we also acquired the business building, which may have some uses now and in the future may be something else that we can adapt it to. But this property actually in the back connects up with the parking lot behind the Roberts property that we acquired by donation a couple of months ago. So that's something that's really important for our downtown development, I think. And I think maybe that kind of thing will go along with a lot of other things that we're doing in Tullahoma now relative to improving the downtown district. I'm a member of the committee, the downtown committee that Mr. Brooks is heading up, and Shelley Smith, who's on our planning commission, and they're doing a lot of work. Franklin would be sort of a role model for Tullahoma. I do remember when Tullahoma was larger than Franklin, believe it or not. And I will say this, Franklin has always been a beautiful town because they didn't come in there and deface a lot of their buildings with some cheap modern upgrades like plastic siding and aluminum siding and things like that. But we have the potential to do something really good in downtown Tullahoma, and that committee is working really hard to do that. So any kind of support y'all can give to them would be very, very good. At the board meeting last time, the board approved an application for, or an initiative, and I'm not sure exactly what it was, for a study of the widening and development of Cedar Lane. And I happened to mention that to some other people here in town, and they indicated to me, and then I remembered that a number of years ago we did a study on the widening of Cedar Lane. So I called Mr. Bolts today about that. He remembered it too. I'm trying to find my file on that, and he's going to come and talk with Ms. Moody about it, see if we can find his file, because they might be able to build on what we've already done rather than starting from scratch all over again. So this has been on the back burner for many, many, many years because it's a need that we have. And I think that might help us expedite that study. It might be something real positive for the city in the future.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Have you ever been involved in one of these? And you need one of these? Then look no further than the Russell Barnett Certified Collision Center. With a state-of-the-art facility, aluminum capabilities, lifetime paint guarantee, Russell Barnett Auto Rental, claims assistance from start to finish. We are here to serve you. So stop by and let us show you why we are number one, the Russell Barnett Certified Collision Center.
When your family suffers the loss of a loved one, the caring and compassionate staff at Tullahoma Funeral Home and Coffee County Funeral Chapel are standing by to assist you in every way possible. We are proud to support local industry and offer only Batesville caskets. Many funeral homes don't own or operate a crematory. We utilize the only crematory in Coffee County. Your loved one never leaves Coffee County. We can accommodate any need and any budget. Consider our complete pre-need service to remove this burden from your family during their time of grief. Lock in today's low costs and protect from inflation. Tullahoma Funeral Home and Coffee County Funeral Chapel. Our family caring for your family.
So you've been meaning to do something healthy, commune with nature, get outdoors and meet new people. We have the perfect solution. Come hike with us. You can find a Tennessee Trails Association chapter near you, including Clarksville, Columbia Franklin, Highland Rim, Jackson, Knoxville, Oak Ridge, Memphis, Murfreesboro, Nashville, Plateau at Crossville, and Upper Cumberland. We're on the web at TennesseeTrails.org. It's fun, it's stress-free, and it's good for you. See you on the trails.
Welcome back. The Tullahoma Board of Mayor and Aldermen in its last meeting approved the purchase of 2 properties on Southwest Atlantic Street. Let's watch a portion of the discussions.
Item number 20-23, ratify approval of the purchase of real property at 114 Southwest Atlantic Street and 108 South Atlantic Street in downtown Tullahoma for the amount of $152,000.
I move to approve item number 2023.
I'll second.
We've got a proper motion and a second. Any discussion on this?
I have a couple questions.
Certainly.
So we're going to purchase it for $152, and the purpose is going to be, what are we putting there?
Well, I'll share how this came about. I think, as you know, the city has made some significant investments in our downtown in recent years. Many of those preceding me, but beginning probably with the downtown infrastructure improvements, the sidewalk, streetscape improvements that you have downtown, the street trees, leading up to today where we are looking at a major repaving project in the downtown. We're looking at upgrading our signalized intersections along Jackson Street. We've done the North Jackson Street streetscape plan, which I know does not cover the downtown district, but we had a lot of conversation in those public meetings about how we could tie together improvements all along and including parts of South Jackson Street, even though we were studying a section of North Jackson. So we've been looking at downtown. We feel like it is part of the first impression that businesses get when we're talking about economic development and attracting businesses. We know that it's part of the face or the welcome front door of our community, and the vibrancy of that area speaks really to the vibrancy of the whole community.
It says that it's anticipated that commercial rents and parking fees will be sufficient for the Tullahoma Industrial Board to repay the loan in full. So that would indicate that we are and have decided we are going to do permanent parking. If we're not going to do that, then how are we going to repay the loan?
So anticipated commercial rents and parking fees would be sufficient for the the Industrial Development Board to repay the loan. But I interpreted that commercial rents to include rent that the Industrial Development Board already receives. This board owns the Rock 10 building, what is commonly referred to as the Rock 10 building. It's at South Anderson Street in West Carroll, and they receive revenue off of that property. So I think without any additional rent coming off of this particular piece, the Industrial Board has enough income off of that other property that could repay this loan.
I'd like to comment on the visit that we had from our friends consultants from Franklin. We showed them that property and the building that's associated with it and told them that we were in the process of buying it, and they were very enthusiastic about that and commending us for taking the action to get that to add to our opportunities that we have for developing downtown. It just permits some opportunities. If we didn't control it, there's a lot of other things could happen. But they were favorable and excited about us having that property. So
I'm thrilled about this opportunity. This is wonderful.
I am too.
This is excellent.
I also am thrilled about the idea of having a cafe tables and string lights.
I'm picturing a linear
Well, don't we have some business owners that are wanting to do the cafe and string lights outside of their areas as well? I mean, I'm just not a fan. If a private business can do it and we can put a business there and we can up our sales tax and up our property tax and
to that point,
we use zoning ordinances to control what goes in places. So if we don't want something there, then we can handle it that way.
So we have a resolution out there, and I've read it and didn't choke. Do I have a motion to approve? And a second by Alderman Dunn. Any other discussion?
I'd like to amend it to remove the parking fees.
All right, well, we have to go to our original person that made the motion.
Motion on the amendment.
Make a motion on the amendment.
Is there any concerns with doing, can I ask Jennifer a question from here?
Certainly.
Is there any concerns with doing that?
I don't have a concern with it, do you, Sue? No, we have the commercial rents, which will be the source for paying this anyway. The parking fees were something that was potential down the road, that wasn't something that was fixed.
Okay, move to approve with the amendment of removing parking fees. Is that how you need it?
We now vote on the amendment. All in favor of the amendment, vote green, and opposed, vote red.
So actually, that would be you or no?
I'm not in favor of removing the fees on parking.
It says.
Now we go back to the original resolution. We have a resolution with an amendment.
Correct.
Any other discussion? All in favor of the resolution as amended, vote green. And it passes 5-1.
We'll be right back with more News Leader on 6.
It's not invoice. It's not MSRP. It's not Christmas Day, although it may feel like it. It's the lowest prices in Middle Tennessee, period. It's a Stan McNabb Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram or Stan McNabb Chevrolet Buick GMC Cadillac before these prices are gone forever.
All right, the cat's out of the bag at Carroll Street Liquor in Tullahoma. Now you know where to go if you're planning a get-together and want the ideal wine or spirit. Party planning can be stressful, but at Carroll Street Liquor you'll find everything you need. Mixers, gift sets, and all of your favorite spirit brands. So if you're feeling the pressure to pull off the ideal party, come to Carroll Street Liquor and select among the seemingly endless supply of wines, spirits, gift sets, and more. Your perfect party, it's in the bag with Carroll Street Liquors.
Welcome back. Former Tullahoma High School golf star Karen Romberg was recently inducted into the Tullahoma Sports Council's Hall of Fame.
Our next inductee into the Tullahoma Sports Council Hall of Fame is the late Karen Romberg, sponsored by Ascend Federal Credit Union. Karen was a member of Tullahoma High School class of 1981. In 1978, she was the Girls State Golf Championship runner-up at Henry Horton, shooting a 161. The champion shot a 157. 1979, Karen won the Girls Golf State Championship, shooting a 79. She was also the girls' junior champion at Holston Hills Country Club. She won the girls' junior amateur championship at Graymere. In 1980, Karen was the girls' golf state champion once again. And in 1981, Karen was once again the girls' state runner-up at Henry Horton State Park. From 1982 to 1985, Karen attended the University of Indiana on a golf scholarship. Here to accept the award for Karen is John and Michelle McCord.
On behalf of Karen, Karen was Michelle's age, and probably Michelle was one of her very closest friends. And she grew up beside Scott down the street from James and I. We played a lot of golf with Karen, and for a girl, you know, we didn't want to get beat by no girl. But Karen was formidable. She was an excellent player, and she loved the game. And so thank you for her and Michelle. Just want to say something.
Just a minute. I just wanted to share with you the Karen that I knew. I'm going to do the best I can with this. But, and Mom, don't worry. I'm not going to talk about any of our shenanigans, so we'll keep those quiet. But Karen was not only just a tremendous athlete and golfer, she had such a kind heart. I mean, she was one of those that had a love for all people and was just always willing to help anyone anytime she could. And she had that same compassion for animals. She had a dog. He was a beautiful Labrador, and his name was Caddy, which was very appropriate. She was always rescuing cats. She always had at least 2 or 3. But when Karen could no longer play golf in the manner I think she was accustomed to playing, she put herself in other passions. And one of those that I remember is gardening. And wherever Karen lived, you know, and made herself a home, her home was always meticulous and just so manicured inside and out. And she loved flowers, and she and I both loved geraniums. And I can remember by the end of the season, you know, at summer I would throw mine out, and Karen would take hers inside, and she just nurtured them, and they would just thrive. And to me, it speaks a lot to who Karen was. She always put 100% into everything she did, and including golf. And while I think golf was her God-given talent, she never took it for granted, and she worked so hard at it. But she loved it, and she loved playing with these guys. And by these guys, I mean John and James and Scott and Clay, and I think she looked to them as an extended part of her family, and kind of like brothers. And although she and I were friends, and I'm about done here, but I just want to do her justice and honor her. She would come to our house, and I think a big part of it was John and the time that they could reminisce about golf. They could, you know, just talk golf. They'd watch the Masters together or whatever. It was a connection for her to a time in her life that was so special and so rewarding and so fulfilling. And for those of you that don't know Karen, she discovered she had Huntington's later in her life, which is a very hard disease. It's a terrible disease, but she battled it like she did everything else. She just put 100% of herself into it. And on days she was down or idle, because Karen was not one to sit idle, I knew it was a bad day, but eventually she'd pick herself back up and she'd keep going. And always with a smile and a laughter. If you knew Karen, you remember her laugh. It was very infectious. But I know she's smiling today and would be so very, very honored to have received this, and humbled and grateful. And I think it's a wonderful way to honor her memory and to continue her memory forward. So on behalf of on behalf of Karen, John and I thank you. Thanks.
More News Leader on 6 is coming up in a moment.
Have you heard the news? Russell Barnett Automotive Family has launched its new website, russellbarnett.com. Very user-friendly. Over 1,000 new and pre-owned vehicles to choose from. Online credit applications, hometown auto rental, customer testimonials, trade appraisals, certified collision center, service department scheduling. Too many reasons to mention why I keep asking the question, why buy anywhere else?
Here at Manchester Funeral Home, we know the importance of living and working in our local community because it's those families who we serve during their time of need honorably. We believe in supporting local business and offer only 100% Batesville caskets, the best in the industry and a driver of our local economy. If you want straightforward and fair pricing while working with the people you know, choose Manchester Funeral Home, serving your community since 1932. And pre-planning and pre-funding can be the best gift you ever leave your loved ones. Call us to pre-arrange. Manchester Funeral Home. Our family, caring for your family since 1932.
Ah, the glory days. Running to daylight on the gridiron. And chasing a ball with a mind of its own. Cheering the team to victory. And marching to the beat of your own drum. Memories that last a lifetime. But sometimes we're reminded of our glory days in ways we'd rather forget. Get back in the game. The rehab team at Life Care Center of Tullahoma is ready to help you live and play well.
Welcome back. The Cheesecakery, located in downtown Tullahoma, has been selected as the Small Business of the Year by the Tullahoma Area Chamber of Commerce.
Okay, so when we think of a small business at the Chamber, it's actually really, really hard to define. A small businesses start up in our community almost every day. These small business owners are self-employed entrepreneurs who start businesses that employ other people, fill needs in local retail, services, or intangibles like consultants or home-based businesses. But we do find one common denominator. A person with a dream sets a goal, they dig deep and they work hard every day. They invest in people, they invest with other local merchants, they invest with financial organizations and work with our city and county, finally opening their doors, starting a new circle of influence impacting the footprint of our community.
I've known this person since childhood. Life would send us in different directions, but thanks to social media, I was able to remain friends with this person throughout the years. I'd see her share news of marriage, then crazy adorable children, then career moves, and many changes. She finally arrived at a moment when a dream inside her soul could not be extinguished. So she began making cheesecakes. Like really good cheesecakes. One so good that town was buzzing and suddenly people were meeting her in parking lots and numbers grew. Soon enough, she was scouting a location and months later, her dream and goals aligned. The doors were open for her business. I'm sure many of you can recognize stories just like that. This person joined our ambassador program in 2018 and served at the beginning of 2019, but actually had to withdraw from the program, not because we're not awesome, but due to the overwhelming success her business was experiencing. If that's not a testimonial, I don't know what is. I'm sure you've guessed already. Small Business of the Year 2019 is the Cheesecakery.
This is a surprise.
I just want to start off by saying that I love Tullahoma. I've lived here just about my whole life. And to be able to start a dream and carry it out with the support of this awesome community, it means the world to me. And I'm really, really proud to be a part of this community. So thank you guys so much. And I'm just going to continue to try to make the best product I can and just serve in the best way I can. So thank you guys.
And we'll be right back in a moment with your weather forecast.
Russell Barnett Hometown Auto Rental has proudly served your auto rental for over 30 years. Check out this huge selection to choose from. Small car, mid-size car, full-size car, crossover vehicle, SUV, minivan, pickup trucks, 12 and 15 passenger vans. Whether big or small, Russell Barnett Hometown Auto Rental has them all. Stop by our 2 locations to serve you, Tullahoma and in Winchester. And remember, my question is, why rent anywhere else?
We're losing it, Doctor.
Not on my shift. Quickly, brush. Roller.
What a transformation. It's gonna be okay.
Okay, nothing.
At Paintworks of Tullahoma, we specialize in domestic emergencies with Martin Senior Paints. You can be the paint doctor too when you treat your home with Martin Senior interior and exterior finishes.
Doctor, we've got another one.
Got you covered.
Paintworks of Tullahoma. Come see the paint doctor, Stat.
You made the time and the sacrifice to broaden their horizons, to see their smiles, but mostly to make lifelong memories. We think it's time to do it again, just the 2 of you. Don't let illness or injury slow you down. The rehab team at Life Care Center of Tullahoma is ready to help you live well.
Welcome back. We'll take a look at your weather forecast at this time, starting with your weather history on this day. Our record high was in 1974 at 79 degrees. The record low was in 1932 at 13 degrees. Average high on this day is 59 and the average low is 35. Cloudy weather in the forecast for tonight with a low of 50. Chance of storms expected on Wednesday with a high of 64 and a low of 55, and storms again in the forecast for Thursday with a high of 66 and a low of 60. And that's our news leader report for this evening. We invite you to join us each Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday at 6, 8, and 10 for News Leader on 6. You have a good evening.
Have a great evening.